Welcome to The Complete Teacher, 101 meaningful, bite-sized professional development lessons, each coming with thought-provoking titles, relevant, inspiring quotes, helpful text with anecdotes, data, and wisdom, and action steps. Lesson 59, Checking for Understanding and Assessments. Dylan Williams says, when teachers do formative assessment effectively, students learn at roughly double the rate they do without it. As a rookie teacher, I used to go home and think to myself, wow, my students really got it today. They were answering hard questions. They were asking even better ones. What a great teacher I am. It wasn't until the next year that I finally realized I was missing something. Usually only about 5 or 6 students were locked in and tracking with me on any given day, giving me the impression that all students were locked in and tracking. But what about the other 30? I assumed they were tracking with me, but were they? The truth is I had no idea if the majority of my students were getting it. Some argue that this is what summative assessments are for. But highly effective teachers have a reasonable idea of what their students know before a big test. The truth is checking for understanding and formative assessments became life preservers for me, as well as for my students. While I believed I was doing a great job before, I actually was doing my students a disservice and setting them up for failure by not formally assessing along the way. I once heard this helpful metaphor. When the cook tastes the soup, that's formative assessment. When the customer tastes the soup, that's summative assessment. There are all sorts of ways to do this. Students can use whiteboards or hold up different color cards to represent answers. Students can self-assess or visually respond using a scale such as thumbs up, thumbs down, or fist to 5. Teachers can also use any number of digital resources to do this as well. Kahoot, Padlet, Stormboard, Pinup, Google Classroom. Checking progress and gauging what they know is at the heart of formative assessment. As the phrase suggests, formative assessment is an ongoing cycle of building up or forming student skills, measuring and building up some more. It allows the teacher to adjust instruction as needed. Formative assessment means that students are safe and free to risk and make mistakes before and leading up to a real assessment. If you don't check for understanding, you may be releasing students to work independently and unknowingly set them up to practice incorrectly. Perhaps even more importantly, effective checking for understanding is a top indicator of student success. John Hattie's visible learning, referenced earlier, finds that teacher estimates of achievement is a top 5 indicator of student success. With that in mind, don't wait until the test to find out if they truly get it or if they've passed or failed. Set students up for success by measuring their skills and progress along the journey of lessons leading up to the big test. In other words, let the cook taste the soup before the customer does. Action steps. With every learning objective, make sure your lesson allows for students to taste the soup before you formally assess them. Need a copy of all the Complete Teacher lessons on slides? Looking for an e-reader or physical copy of the Complete Teacher? Want to browse thousands of other top-rated, engaging resources? Check out the links below.